Hi quilting friends, I'm Linda Knitson today to show you what you can do, the Wicked quilt, which is behind me. This quilt is the series of the Die of the Month program. It's a 7-part series. We're going to show you one at a time. So today we're going to show you the first block in that, and it is the 4-patch. 2.5-inch squares, 4 of them sewn together. Let's start cutting some fabric and we'll sew it and get you started. So you need 2 different colored fabrics. For the Wicked quilt, we use the black and the green. So you need a strip of black and a strip of the green, and you need them about 5 1/4 inches wide, because when you put 2 of the 2.5-inch squares together, you get 5 inches. You want your fabric to be slightly wider than the die, so we're going to cut these at 5 1/4 inch strips. And then we're going to lay them on the die. And I'm going to start with my selvage edge, because the folded edge I can always unfold when I get down to the end and maximize my width. So we have 2 layers of each one, so I can cut 4 at a time. So let's just flip that right over and get a few more. So I'm lining that up to make sure that I have all of my components ready and straight. I need a cutting pad for the top and a cutting pad for the bottom. So I'm using the standard cutting pads. You can use the ones that come with the machine. So if you have a Big Shot, that would be the standard cutting pads. If you have a Plus machine, of course those are going to be bigger. I'm using the Big Shot Plus today. I like it because when I'm using the squares, I can put that die in there at an angle and it actually cuts much better. I'm going to take them in pairs and sew them 1 each together, and then we'll get the first part of our 4-patch together. I'm going to put the green on top of the black. I'm going to stay consistent with that, just stay consistent. That's the way it goes. Put them right sides together. I'm using solids, so there really is no right side. But if you're using a printed fabric, right sides together always. Put the green on top. You can pin it if you'd like to. I am not going to. Just keep with your 1/4 inch seam. And we're going to go ahead and start sewing those. And we're going to chain piece those. We need 24 pairs. So just take them right sides together. No need to cut your thread. And we're just going to feed the next one in. Okay, now that you have a few sewn, I'm just going to show you how it is that we're going to put these together. So go ahead and snip them apart. Don't need to press them together yet. We're going to open that up, and what makes the magic of the 4-patch is this is what you have currently. You've been sewing 2 pairs, right? We just flip one over. That's all there is, folks. All right, put those right sides together. Now the fun part is I want to make sure that my seam goes towards the dark side, right? So whatever darker fabric you have, nestle these 2 together, and I do drop a pin right in there to make sure that that doesn't shift in my sewing. So just drop a pin in and then start. And I would pin all of my pairs together, and then again I'm going to chain piece them all together. Okay? So then I'm just going to take that in to the sewing machine. I'm going to sew down this one seam, and I'll have my 4-patch. When I come up to that pin, I'm going to realign the rest of my pieces. Slide that pin out very carefully. And that seam will nest very nicely. When you open that up, that's a beautiful 4-patch. So I went ahead and pressed the 4-patch. As you notice, I pressed the middle seam, that final one, I pressed that open. And as I talked it through, we folded the other seam towards the dark side, and I just gave that a quick press in that direction. I'm going to flip that over. It is a beautiful 4-patch. Double check your first one. Make sure it measures 4.5 inches square. And if it does, go ahead and continue on with the rest. I will see you next month for the second in the series for Wicked, the Die of the Month program. Have fun!